And now you're going to demonstrate the next screen recorder from signitivesoft or signitivesoft, as you say. Difficult to pronounce, but here's that next demo.
This is demonstrating screen recorder by a developer called signitivesoft. That's signitivesoft, signitivesoft, or whatever. While screen recorder is one of the good screen recorders out there on the Play Store, I do not believe that it gives you that capability of recording an internal sound. In other words, while it still records what is coming from your speaker, for example, but yet at the same time, it will also be recording what is coming through externally. You'll see what I'm talking about. For today's demonstration, I'll be doing this on an older device, and that's the Pixel 2 XL from 2017. As for the voice or TTS engine, I'll be using Kindra from the back then Bright Voice Technologies, which Amazon, of course, has hogtied. I am sitting on my home screen now and will now navigate my way to where I could find the icon for screen recorder, activate it, and get going. I have cleared both the cache and storage of the app so that we'll be starting afresh. I'll now put my finger down and find Screen Recorder. Here is Screen Recorder.
Screen Recorder, record screen and trim video. Screen Recorder, web view.
I launched the app and it says Record and Trim Video. I do want to say that there's a weakness of this app that I truly don't like, and that's the fact that every single time that you launch the app, an ad appears, with an audio and all of that, as you can hear, which I had to turn the screen off. You cannot close out of that ad, and sometimes there's a close, or what you have is an install. Tapping on that install will take you to the Play Store, then you can go back. For example,
Install, link, details for app, Matterport capture, Play Store, navigate up, button.
And sometimes actually it shows you very good apps. I've seen one good app that I actually have installed. So I'm going to go back.
Screen recorder.
And so I'm back to where that ad is. And now I can hit the back button or do the back gesture, and it should be able to close out of that ad.
Allow screen recorder to access photos, media, and files on your device.
And of course, we sure do want to let it to allow access to our files, because without doing so, we will not be able to save the recordings that we made. So of course, I'm going to say allow it, or maybe allow it only while it's using the app. But in this case, is allow or deny.
Allow, button.
Or
deny, button.
We don't want to do that.
Allow, button. Screen recorder, BTN drawer, button.
And now we are in the menu UI. At the very top left corner, we have something that says BTN drawer. And it's like the navigation drawer, but there's not much in here to talk about. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Menu, screen recorder.
When you tap on the navigation drawer, the items that you find here are the following, of no consequence.
Record screen and trim video.
There's record screen and trim video.
Rate app, rate screen recorder on Google Play, in list. Share this app, share screen recorder with your friends. More app, visit our accounts to more apps.
And
About us, check new version of app.
That's what you find here. So that's why I said it's of no consequence. I'm going to go back. At the bottom, however, we've got some tabs. As a matter of fact, I think we have 4 tabs. By default, when you open the app, it lands you in the video mode, and that's the tab that is found at the bottom leftmost corner of the phone.
Video, tab, selected, 1 of 4, in list, 4 items.
To the right of that,
Screenshot, tab, 2 of 4.
Screenshot, if you've captured any screenshots. Next.
Trim video, tab, 3 of 4.
This has to do with editing the video that you've captured. And the last tab here, which we're going to go into, is the Settings tab.
Settings, tab, 4 of 4.
Here's the settings. We'll tap here.
Settings, selected.
Tapping on settings, here are the items we find within the settings. We've got the following.
Audio configuration. Heading 1 of 11.
We got a heading that says audio configuration, and below that we've got
Record audio. Should audio be recorded? Switch on 2 of 11.
and absolutely you want to leave this on. It's on by default. Next,
Audio source. Mic 3 of 11.
audio source, and by default it's the microphone. Let's tap here and see what we've got.
Audio source. Default. In list.
We've got default,
Camcorder.
camcorder,
Mic. Checked.
and the mic,
Cancel. Button.
or
Out
cancel.
of list.
Those are your options. So if you don't like one, you could switch to the other. I'm going to cancel here.
Screen recorder.
Below the audio source, we've got,
Video configuration. Heading 4 of 11.
we have the video configuration, and below that we've got,
Video encoder. Default. 5 of 11.
you've got default, or if you tap here,
Video encoder. Default. Checked. In list.
or we've got,
H264. H263. HEC. MPEG_4_SP. VP8. Cancel. Button. Out of list.
and that's the last one.
Screen
Let's keep going.
resolution. 1080 by 1920. 6 of 11.
You could tap here and go change to a different resolution, and just keep in mind that the higher the resolution is, the bigger the file size is.
Countdown before start. 3s. 7 of 11.
So every time that you tap on start, you have 3 seconds before it starts. Next,
Countdown before start. 3s. 7 of 11. Frame rate. Higher FPS means more CPU usage. 30 FPS. 8 of 11.
and it records at 30 frames per second, but you could change it to 60 if that's what you want, which is going to be more CPU intensive. Next item,
Bitrate. 4 Mbps. 9 of 11.
that's 4 MB per second.
More. Heading. 10 of 11.
We have the more heading.
Output format. MPEG_4. 11 of 11.
If you don't like this format, you could tap here and go change it. Let's see what we have.
Output format. Default. In list.
So we've got default,
MPEG_4. Checked. 3_GBP. Web. Cancel. Button. Screen recorder.
and those are your options. I will now go back.
Screen recorder. If you like screen recorder, please give us 5-star review. Thank you.
And I'm not giving you 5-star. I wish I could, but I am just devastated by the ads.
Exit. Button.
The next thing we want to do now is to go about recording a video, and that recording button is found just above the settings, which is at the bottom right. So at the bottom right corner, we have settings, and above that is the record button. Let's now go ahead and try that.
Beat list. BTN start.
BTN start, that's button start.
Allow screen recorder to take pictures and record video while using the app. Button.
So if you have Android 10 or higher, you may have this fine granular control where you could say allow it only while you're using the app,
Only this time. Button.
only this time,
Deny. Button.
or deny.
Only this time. Button.
I will choose the one that says allow only when I'm using the app.
While using the app. Button. Allow screen recorder to record audio while using the app. Button.
The same kind of permission about audio, and I'm going to tap on while using the app.
Start recording or casting with screen recorder. Screen recorder will have access to all of the information that is visible on your screen or played from your device while recording or casting. This includes information such as passwords, payment details, photos, messages, and audio that you play.
In other words, if you are trying to enter a username and a password in an app, and you are using this, of course it's going to be captured, so you don't want to do that. So do not use this when you are doing something that has to do with passwords and things like that. And at the bottom, we have the cancel or the start now, and those two buttons are found toward the right in the middle, and I will now find and tap on Start Now.
Message. Blind. Start Now. Button. Screen recorder.
Now, I think it remembered my settings from earlier on, because if you do not grant it permission to draw over other apps, it will ask you to allow it to draw over other apps. And once you tap on that, then it will take you to where you see all the list of apps that could be allowed to be drawn over other apps. And you'll tap on Screen Recorder and then go tap on the switch to on position from its off position. And now that we're recording, that button that says record now has changed to the stop button.
BTN stop.
So that's a stop button. Now I'm going to do something. I'm going to
Pixel
go
launch.
into a different app here and try to record something. Let's go into YouTube, for example.
YouTube. Folder.
Let's go to YouTube.
YouTube. Navigate up. Button. Blind Android users. 497 subscribers. Middle dot 300.
That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Blind Android Users podcast. Almost 500 users. That's incredible. Now, I wanted to tap on this
Blind
to
Android
play.
users podcast episode 51.
We're thankful for.
040.
And we have
Nice.
some demonstrations from Warren. So he'll be demonstrating the InWare app. He'll be showing us how to fix a few troublesome
I will
things
now
in the
stop
Google Assistant.
the recording.
And he'll be demonstrating the
Pause video.
InWare app.
Rather, I'll stop the
Pix-
video
Home screen
playback
live.
from blind Android users. Now, let's go ahead and stop the screen recorder from recording. And you could either bring up the app and go tap on the stop there just above the settings button on the bottom right, or you could just simply pull down your notification and find and tap on the stop recording. I think I'm going to do the latter, which is pulling down the notification center.
Notification shade. Recording your screen. Screen recorder. Drag down to stop the recording. Collapsed.
And we're told this is collapsed, and below that we have,
Microphone. Displaying
Microphone.
over other apps on your screen.
and then we have
Expand. Button.
expand. I could tap here,
Collapse. Button.
and
Stop recording. Button.
right there on the left is the stop recording. I'll tap here.
201. Save successfully.
And it says my recording has been saved successfully. And by the
Pixel
way,
launcher.
the recordings are stored in your recordings, in your internal storage. And let's go ahead and give it a quick test and see what it would
Home
sound
screen
like.
for-
So I'll go back to either my file manager, or right here, I could just open it
Screen recorder.
right here.
Screen recorder. Web view.
And of course, it brings up an ad. This time I'm fortunate though, the ad is not an audio type. And so I'm just going to hit the back
Screen recorder.
and hopefully it closes. And sure enough, it closes. And as I indicated earlier, whenever you launch the app, you are placed in the video tab. And so that's after you close out of the ad. Then if you have any video, you are shown that video near the top. So let's see if we have our video that I just recorded.
Beep list. Play video view. Stop. 1236 registered 900.
So that's a stop
Play
button.
video view.
Now, I'm gonna do
1236 registered
something.
900. Pixel launcher.
Now, of course, I'm not able to get to where I could move the video because maybe the app does not allow me to use a SIG bar. But if you've chosen to open it with a different player, for example, that has the control where you have a slider, you could move it to where you want.
Blind Android users. 497 subscribers. Middle dot 300.
That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Blind Android Users podcast. Almost 500 users. That's incredible. Now, I wanted to tap on this.
Blind
to
Android
play.
users podcast episode 51.
We're thankful for.
040.
And we have some demonstrations
Video view.
from Warren.
1236
So
registered
he'll be demonstrating the
974%.
InWare app. He'll be showing us how to fix a few troublesome things in the Google Assistant.
And that's how you go about doing that. As you can hear, is playing that video from Blind Android Users podcast. This has been Screen Recorder from signitivesoft. signitivesoft. Signitive. signitivesoft.
And which do you prefer out of those two, Warren? Which would be your go-to option?
I think that both of these are actually excellent recorders. However, I think that the AZ recorder, the screen reader pronounces it as Arizona, the AZ recorder is a better recorder because it has one advantage over the screen recorder, because that allows you to do that internal sound recording. In other words, as you can hear in my demo, I was able to record this thing from blind Android users. And I could not do that if I was doing that with the screen recorder without it capturing my voice at the same time.
Yeah, and that's an issue with another quite good screen recorder, Minimal or NML. It's pretty accessible, but again, it will only let you record your voice. It falsely claims that it's a Google limitation that prevents you from recording internal audio. That was true up until the release of Android 10, but either Minimal hasn't been updated since then, or they haven't added that capability.